spy lovers. I'm Jimmy Bond, and this is Spies Like Me. In this series, I'm going to be traveling through time, taking you along some of the most super secret, super dangerous spy missions of all time. Today, I'm in a place known by the codename the Promised Land, where 12 spies are currently checking the lay of the land. They have been told by their leader that this is a land flowing with milk and honey, a land God will give them and their children. Let's see what the spies have found. Excuse me, sir, are you one of the Israelite spies?
Spy? Me? Ha! What made you think that?
You can trust me, sir. I'm on your side.
Sure.
Yes?
Then take my advice. Run! Get out of this place immediately! It's too dangerous!
Too dangerous?
Yeah, way too dangerous. Do you know what we found here?
Sure I do. A land of milk and honey. A land that can provide for all your people.
A land that already provides for people. Big people. Scary people.
But God promised that He would give this land to you.
God can keep this land.
I don't believe what I'm hearing.
Yeah? Well, you really won't believe this. We should have never left Egypt to come here.
But you were slaves in Egypt.
But there are no giants in Egypt.
I think you're focusing too much on your problems and not enough on God. You know, God saved you from the Egyptians. And you know, God can defeat these giants.
Well, He can do it without. I'm going back to tell Moses that he's crazy to invade this place. We might as well stay in the desert because if we come here, we're dead.
Are you really going to say that? Are you really going to let fear keep you from inheriting this beautiful land the Lord has given you?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Well, this is a sad state of affairs. I'm afraid 10 out of 12 spies in their promised land all agreed invasion was too dangerous. Only 2 spies kept their eyes on God's promise, and only those 2 were able to live in the promised land. It's a good reminder that we all need to focus on God's promises, because when we do, we'll see those promises come true. I'm going back undercover.
Did you catch that?
I thought you lived up in the US.
Oh, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Huh. That's interesting.
I know that song.
Alright, well, that was fun. Alright, well, we need 2 teams because I have a secret mission for you. So, let's make 2 teams.
Me.
Me. What if we do girls against boys?
Yeah!
It's okay, the girls have an advantage because the girls are hiding. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
And because we have less goals.
Alright, so girls, your mission is to find all the cards with, which one do you want to find?
Souls.
Let's go with the blue circles. Alright, so your job is to find all the cards with the blue circles. Boys, your job is to find all the cards with the red stars. And once you have them all, you need to put them in order. And go! Alright, well good job everyone, you can have a seat. Way to go.
Good job.
We solved the secret mission.
No, we didn't.
Well, almost. Close, very close. Alright, excellent. So, alright, so as you might have gathered, we are starting a series about spies in the Bible. So I don't know if you knew this already, but there are spies in the Bible, spy stories. So, we are going to be looking at some different spies in the Bible. Alright, so our first story takes place in the Bible in the 4th book of the Bible. Does anybody know what the 4th book of the Bible is? Wait, what was it, Andrew?
Numbers.
Numbers, yeah.
And then the 5th one is about Jericho.
You're right. Yeah.
I just did that one at school.
Yeah, so we're going to the book of Numbers today, and we're going to chapter 13, and we're going to look around verse 26, is where we're going to start. So, as you might have gathered from our skit, God was sending the people of Israel to the promised land, right?
Yeah.
And they had come out of Egypt, and they were being led away, and they were going to the promised land. And so the leader, Moses, he sent out 12 spies to go look and see what was going on in the promised land, right? And so then the spies come back, and they're giving their report. And so we're going to check out what their report is. And so it says, the men came back to Moses and everyone there, and they gave Moses their report. They said, we went into the land you gave us, and it was full of milk and honey, and there's fruit. All right, so Theodore, we've got these people, they're coming back, and they're giving the report about this new land. And they said, it's wonderful, there's milk and honey and fruit, but the people who live there are very powerful. Their cities have high walls and are very large. But then, one of the spies, whose name was Caleb, he said, we should go take the land. We definitely can do it. But then the other 10 spies said, whoa, we can't attack those people. They are stronger than us.
But then they marched around one time the first time,
Not yet.
one time the second time,
Not yet.
and then the second time, and
No.
then 7 times around the
Yes, but Theodore, do you know something?
Yeah.
Before all that happened,
Yeah.
before they got anywhere near there, right, there were 10 spies that said, we can't go there. The people are huge. We look like grasshoppers. That's what they said. We look like little grasshoppers. They're huge. We can't go there, right? And so these guys were saying, those people are huge. They're giants. And we look like teeny tiny little grasshoppers compared to them. We can't take that land. Only 2 men, Joshua and Caleb were their names. They were the ones that said, you know what? Even though there's giants there, our God is bigger, right? Our God has taken us out of Egypt. Our God can help us take that land. But, you know what happened?
What?
Because those 10 spies, they told about how terrible the people were and how scary they were.
Yeah.
The Israelites didn't get to go to the promised land for another 40 years. In fact, they wandered around in the desert for 40 years. Only Joshua and Caleb ever saw the promised land. The rest of them never saw it because they didn't trust God, and they just wandered around the desert for about 40 years. Right? Only Caleb and Joshua kept their eyes on God, saying, he can help us. And in the end, it was only Caleb and Joshua that ended up seeing that promised land. So, that's kind of like, well, there's the promised land, yeah. That's kind of like us, or like some people, right?
Like a star face.
Yeah, they have big dreams, really big dreams, right? And they say, this is what I'm going to be, and I'm going to follow my dreams, and I'm going to make it. But then they get kind of scared because something gets hard. And then they're like, maybe not. I'm not going to follow that dream. I'll just pick another, or another, right? So start out with big dreams, but they get scared off by big dreams, right? As soon as the first problem comes on, they give up. They take their eyes off the prize and they give up, right? But did you know that God has big plans for your life? Huge plans for you to do amazing things for God, right? But in order to do those,
I'm gonna go to a family.
But in order to do those big things for God, we have to keep focused on God. Because a lot of times, we might be trying our hardest to follow God, but then we look around and there's people saying, hey, you're not good enough to do that. You can't do that. And then we become a little bit afraid of failure, of failing. Or we feel like we should be like everybody else, and so we just start doing what everybody else is doing instead of following God's plan for our life. Or we feel we don't want to be rejected, so we don't want to be the different person, right? So we stop trying to follow what God wants us to do, right? So peer pressure, fear of rejection, fear of failure can help us, causes us to give up on those dreams that God has for our lives. And so if we focus,
why that camera thing?
if we focus on all the fears around us, it's going to keep us from doing what God has planned for our lives. So our goal is to keep our eyes on God, to look to Him for our strength, because He's going to be able to keep us moving forward towards accomplishing those amazing dreams that He has for us. Because He has a plan for each of your lives to do great things for God, right? But we often get distracted by our fears to be able to keep doing those things that He wants us to do. So if we focus on God as Caleb and Joshua did, we will see that God can give us the victory, right? He can help us take on those dreams that He has for us, right? And when God is in control and we keep our eyes on Him, there's no telling what you, Ava and Elia and Theodore and Emerson and Annalise and Andrew and Micah can do for God, right? God has big plans for you. Stay focused on Him. Yep, 1 second. Stay focused on Him, and He'll help you do those things that He has planned for you, right? All right. Yes, Theodore, what is your question?
So, I forgot. It was because what is the camera doing? That's his question.
It's so that our friends at home can watch too. Right? If they couldn't make it to Kid Jam today, then they can watch from home. Alright. So, does anybody have a time when they let fear stop them from doing something they should do? Any thoughts? Yeah? Annalise?
No.
Sometimes when I have an opportunity to pray for somebody, then I feel like almost embarrassed to do it, and then I don't pray for that person.
Yeah.
Me,
Great.
I have an answer.
Thanks, Annalise, for
Sometimes
sharing.
when I want to pray for somebody that's mean to me, and I think that I should do that, then I don't do that.
Yeah.
One of my friends, Henry, is rude to me sometimes.
It can be hard to want to pray for somebody like that.
Yeah.
But instead of being rude back, right, God wants us to keep moving towards His goal for our lives.
And then somebody else, three of George's cousins, when they wanted to scare me out of the house.
All right, well, that is it for our large group today. And so I thought we would do small group all together, or at least maybe in 2 groups.